Cool. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So let's start it now. Welcome. So yeah, I'll sit over here, and then we'll have a very cozy chat. Oh, hello, welcome. No worries. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. So yeah, take a seat here. And I'll take my seat here. Oh, no worries. I think you can sit here. I'll just yeah. Is the light still?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Light is perfect.
Oh, that's good. Because hello everyone, thanks for joining. If you're there, you're there. If
Peace
you're
be
here,
with you, brothers.
Yeah.
Get water. No, just keep you good.
Okay. So last week we not last week, a fortnight ago we sort of talked about zero. We sort of talked about zero. Today we talk about one.
Thank you.
Yes, today we're going to talk about one. The one of...
Is the loneliest number.
Yeah, oh thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Yeah, the one in I-Kuan Tao.
1 plus 1.
The one in I-Kuan Tao, yes.
Isn't that an I? Isn't this I-Kuan Tao?
Oh, it's the E is the Chinese pronunciation, and they couldn't think of a better way to say it.
It could be I-Kuan Tao.
I-Kuan Tao. Like the Chinese stays the same, and the English, however you put it, is still phonetic. You can use E, I guess.
The Wogs say E, the Maoris say E,
Oh.
the English say I. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
You just have to differentiate what language you're talking.
Yeah, that's true. And if it is Chinese writing,
what does the Japanese say?
Ichi.
E.
Oh, E.
Ichi.
Okay, Ichi.
Ichi.
Yeah.
And 1 is mid 1.
One. Yeah, Ichi. So, I mean, we can write it horizontally. That's one in Chinese. But I guess I-Kuan Tao with an I, it's probably easier to write. In terms of
capital I dash.
Yeah.
Tao is T.
T-A-O, yeah. But the spelling doesn't really matter. The spelling is just a pronunciation.
Spelling's a lot easier than listening to Chinese.
Yeah. But we just see what we can learn about this one, or this centeredness, and then we can sort of relate to many other things. Like in many religion also talk about this one. It's just now in a different terminology that we didn't realize. It's still talking about that one. So I think, yeah. Oh, that's okay. That's why we're here. We're trying to learn and see how we can connect everything back to one, and from the one we can go back to that zero.
So what is Catholic class? Is there one?
Oh. Well, in Christian...
one only God.
Yeah, there's also called a oneness. I think in Christendom they use the word oneness quite often. Yeah, but oneness in a modern context is actually quite developed into quite another field of its own. Yeah, so the oneness is not very difficult to comprehend. It's just that sometimes we can, like all the things is connected with the oneness, or connected with the Tao. So you can chuck in a lot of things to make it very, very complex. But we just want to focus on this one and how this one came to be. So this I-Kuan Tao's one, the one in I-Kuan Tao came from the phrase Confucius was talking to his students. And so he talked about that all the things that Confucius know can be returned back to one. So all the things that he teaches and all the things is consistent. So that's what I-Kuan really means. It's a continuation, a consistent motive. And if you look at the lineage, or we say our roots, it's a continuous root. So this is what one started off as. And as we know, the one, it's a very timeless thing. It can go on and on. Yeah, like how long is a piece of string? That's the one in oneness. So if you use the piece of string and join it up like that, it becomes the zero. It becomes, if you shrink it, it becomes the dot. If you maximize it as big as you like, it's still a complete circle. So I think it's very, very abstract in the ancient explanation, but in the modern context, it's actually very, very practical. So say, for example, if we look at, say, in this modern world, a lot of the things comes in duopoly. Yeah, a lot of the things come in pairs. So if you look at the two opposing sides and you find a common denominator, that's where the one comes in. So let me elaborate a little bit more.
Right in the middle.
Yeah. So have you heard about the lefties and the righties? Yeah. So in the
politicians.
Yeah, the political swing and things, they're always talking about lefties and the righties. But ultimately, it's just about the balance, or the middle one. The one that satisfies the most people on either side of the spectrum. So this is what I-Kuan Tao is important for, to remind people, to bring them back onto the one line, to bring them back to this togetherness. And that's the same oneness that originally Christians followed.
And how about Catholics?
Oh yeah, same thing. Catholics, Christians, there's Christendom in general, is this oneness philosophy.
Christians
also.
and Catholics are different.
Well, at the start, they are the same, just like how we learn about all the different religions, actually is talking about the same thing.
Do you know that there are many, many different kinds of Christians?
Yeah, well, I've met a few born-again Christians.
And they all have one common denominator.
Love and kindness?
No, they all believe in Christ.
Oh, yes, that's true.
It's a primary factor in being a Christian. You have to believe in
And
Christ.
Catholics believe in Jesus and God.
Yes, so that's exactly.
Didn't I just say that?
That's exactly right. Yeah. So.
Right.
So obviously, like Sifu was saying, the one Jesus connects everything, or every person. So that's why the Christians and Catholics, they
Jehovah's.
They don't believe in Christ.
They don't believe.
Now, Jehovah's, I think.
They're not Christians, nor the Mormons.
So then what they believe?
I thought they believed in
Johanna Witness.
Jesus.
The Mormons, they're a funny
Mormons.
bunch. We have to get Alex to translate that one.
Alex, if you're watching, hopefully share us a few things.
When talk about Johanna with Robert, don't get involved.
Jehovah's, they may well be very similar to Jews, because the Jew was the original Bible. And then Jesus popped up, and the Jews don't think much of Jesus at all.
Yeah, but the Hebrews, Jews.
The same people.
Yeah. So if we imagine the timeline of like human development,
All split.
It all has started talking about the same thing, but as time moved on, people start branching off.
Doing their own little thing.
So then we need, like say, Jesus to try to bring things back into perspective. And when Jesus returned to heaven, then there's some people who branch off again. So that's eventually what we see. There's so many different Christian sects, like there's Lutheran or what's that called? Presbyterian or
Presbyterians.
Presbyterian.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, but in essential common denominator is what we've said. It's all from Christ. So, but we have got the. That's okay. That's okay. We are just saying we're very fortunate that if we look at Jesus, we can see the one through Jesus, the original part. So unfortunately, a lot of the, say, Catholics or Christians or many other branched off people now only can trace their one back to, say, Jesus. But if they can look at what Jesus preaches and keep tracing that one back to that original one, then eventually they will see the zero. And I think that's something like the modern Christians are trying to also push towards finding the origin of what Jesus is teaching. Otherwise, this figure of Jesus will be easily manipulated because people will take chunks of him and interpret him differently. Whereas you need to look at Jesus as a whole and the consistent Jesus. Same thing in the temple. I think, like we say, we don't.
Buddhist.
Yeah.
Buddha.
Buddha is consistent. So life after life after life, the Buddha cultivate in the same direction. They say they talk their talk. They walk their talk. Sorry, walk their talk. So we are also learning about that. Obviously, we are not perfect. So we sometimes walk the. We sometimes talk a lot more than we walk, but just to remember that, we always try to walk the talk and be consistent in what we do. So in the temple, out of the temple, at our homes, and wherever we are, we're just being one consistent, Daniel sign, or one consistent, one consistent Kenny, one consistent Antisuman. So that's how we can let people trace through us back to the one, and that's how we can have one unified, harmonious world. Because as we all know, the news as well is just filled with very, very conflicting views. When it reaches like a maximum conflict, that's when we have big warfares or big troubles. And it doesn't even need to like
Humans wanting money.
Yeah. So exactly. When we have different, say, perspective, if we look at this as one human timeline, if they are from this background or from this background, can all return through either Jesus or Muhammad, then they can keep going to find the one. Then ultimately, we can bring everything back to what we call like salvation. That's what Maitreya Buddha, Mila Buddha is trying to do as well. And not only us in the temple as doing the right thing, we need to go into society and try to bring some of these notes, bring them closer and closer back to.
Just keep trying.
Keep trying, that's all we can do. So I know some of our friends maybe they have their views, they have their things. That's okay, we respect their views. Yeah, we respect them. It's just we do in a way we can still share with them maybe a bigger picture rather. Yeah, you have to say same goes, big nose. Thank you. Yeah. So
how long is a tournament?
well, how long is a piece of string? But see, I think in Christchurch, that's just something that's very, very speechless with that. So. And
terrible thing to do.
Yeah.
Gunning down innocent people. It's really awful.
Yeah, and even those people who are doing it in the name of like a particular faith or supporting a particular ideal. In essence, if you look at their track record, I think they are not even who they say they are being. Like if they say they are doing it for, say, I guess, religious belief, then have they been following what their religion is teaching them in all these attacks. I'm not putting any. Yeah, I'm not putting any particular noun in there, just because it is a very cross discussion. But either side have people not following their teachings, and then they're doing really, really bad things, still saying they're following what they are taught. So this is very, very unfortunate. And then
the original has changed. It's like the Chinese whisper.
Chinese whisper, yeah, that's an unfortunate
One
stereotype.
story.
And yeah,
go around to 100 people. By the time it gets back to you, it won't be the same.
Yeah. So I think, well, unfortunately in Chinese, because one pronunciation have different tones, so that's something Sifu would be able to share with us as well. Yeah. So I think that's how Chinese whisper started, because they're the same word pronunciation, because of different tone actually mean totally different thing. But yeah, we will just anyway. Did you know any, Sifu? Do you know anyone that I guess have a very big grudge against certain particular groups? Like, do you have any friends in the past, or have a very big grudge against certain groups? Yeah, or they still may?
Do you want to hear?
Oh yeah, I mean, if we hear about it, we can sort of learn.
Like
from
on live.
Okay. No, we don't need to mention names.
No names.
No names.
Sure.
Yeah, no names.
But yeah.
Two people maybe.
I've known a lot of white supremacists in the past. Not particularly because they look down on the suntan people. Just because the suntan people were just so obnoxious.
Yeah. Like obviously, in all these sort of conflicts or dilemma, obviously there are some. How can I put it? Like there must be some triggers, of course, yes. But I guess for us to bring everything back to one, like we always use that story. We say we look at a brick wall that has 1,000 bricks. The one that Ajahn Brahm has used in this book. And a lot of us only look at the one or two misaligned bricks and totally disregard the 998 good bricks. So I think all these like conflicts, like all the
always looking at the bad and not
yeah,
at the good.
Certainly something is along those lines here. But obviously they could have done better, of course. They could also align better, I'm sure. But if everyone can, both sides bring everyone back to the focus, both of them looking back at the common denominator, then hopefully they will get their act together to fix up their issues so that they won't be annoying or causing that conflict. Yeah, because whether it's white supremacy or like any type of minority targeting.
You mean white supremacy?
No.
No.
But it reminds me of South Park.
Yes, that's like.
Randy's up there in the game show and he's about to win $1 million. And the question is, he has to fill in the blank.
Yes.
Someone who annoys you. And the clue is N space GGER.
Yes.
What's the answer, Daniel?
The answer is A.
What's the answer? This is on national TV. Everyone's sitting there watching it. $1 million. What's the answer? Quick!
Don't say the wrong word, Daddy-san. I'll give you the hint.
He's dyslexic.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Let's try again.
That's it.
No. It's nag.
Nagger.
Nag.
Someone who annoys you. A nagger.
A nagging person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course, Randy got it wrong.
Yeah.
How do we get on to that?
But it's very funny that it's exactly what happens if we like of all the common stereotypes that unfortunately have been ingrained into a lot of us. Yes.
Now I understand what naga.
Yeah, naga. Yeah, nagging people.
Nagging, yeah.
But
It's going to work my mind. I was thinking, nigger.
Oh,
I don't like
yeah,
to
yeah.
use that word.
Oh, of course, no, yeah. We just, apologies for the words, but it's okay. It's a lot of the, sorry, it's not okay, but we are so entrenched in a lot of the, stereotype that we come across. And because it doesn't relate to us on like a day-to-day painful state, so we don't see it as an issue. So I can tell you as well, like in Chinese, sports articles, like if they refer to African American champions, they sometimes use the word black in some of the articles as well. Like say Lewis Hamilton, they will call him like the Black King or the Black Emperor in literal terms. So, and that's also not right. But I guess
that sounds like
it's very common in the USA.
Yeah,
it's just accepted.
Well, yeah, the accepting level has just become so numb that I guess on the worldwide scale it just becomes numb. But we know there's no same reciprocal reference when we're talking about say like a champion from a European background or from an Asian background. So yeah, just saying like generally the hundreds or maybe 500 years in all the most recent development. Yeah, these stereotypes have just been so ingrained into a lot of the stereotypes. So, and we're not trying to be like nerdy and say like we are trying to overly be politically correct. We're just saying we're just trying to bring everything back to one. He's a champion. It's not because of his ethnicity, not because of his upbringing, not because of his belief.
He's worked hard, he's trained.
That's it, yeah. So, and it's all because of this one. And I think that's something we can share more with people, and hopefully as a generation together, we can make a little bit of change to undo what the past 500 years of stereotypes add up to. Maybe we still have another 500 years to work on.
Maybe it's coming out.
Yeah. So we just say generally we try our best to always think along the same line, to bring everyone onto the same page, and in all great hope, we can definitely make everyone's lives a bit better. Yeah, because Auntie Sima, I'm sure at your work, maybe do you feel that when there's colleagues not thinking along the common goal, or they're thinking about their own personal gains, or have you come across people that is not working towards that one goal?
Depend on small group or large group or organization. Small company, they usually they follow manager. What manager say? Teamwork, try to achieve. They just help each other, but depend. Some, not everyone. Some do just because you get paid and then just that's it. I do, it's hard to, but at the time that I work very hard and then more hours. Some is I'm finished now, 5 o'clock, I'm finished.
Yeah.
And tend to it's more selfish, some group.
Yeah.
I said it's not my job to train you, or it's your job to or like for example, you are my manager and you might apply, you have to ask him. You can't, I can't tell you, it's something you can't. It's different from to cultivate at this time when talk about one. It's hard to me like we are in the past, like try to make them understand why we are here and cultivate. I don't know, I think it's...
Yeah, I think so similar to every workplace or even Sipu in your Melbourne Melbourne Times, the company that I won't put a name to it, but that security firm in Melbourne. So lots of people, I can say, like
what they
everywhere.
thinking is
Just bizarre.
It's yeah.
In Daniel's workplace.
Yeah. We won't put names to it, but your document handling firm, I'm sure, also have lots of people like similar to this one's description.
Like
not on the
it's
one.
simple, like okay, like any document like delivery, you need to sign and check first. Is it correct?
Yeah.
And then not check, and then delivery docket supposed to back to admin, and then when our checking is docket is not there, who sign it, did we collect or not? No, nobody know, and then it's quite hard. It happens every week, so.
Yeah,
That's simple. It should just be done.
Yeah, well, that's
See
exactly.
the password, look at it.
It's true, and then sometimes the purchase order have to be how much order is it come correct order. If not, then you have to advise them that we order this one, it's come up this one. Otherwise, when they send invoice, it's already included in purchase order.
Yeah.
It happens every time, so it's quite.
So I want to use that as an example to
and like cultivate like this. I don't know.
Because like Sifu and Daniel-san, like in the cleaning days and the painting days that we had at the temple, they are the perfect example of one. So
we all come.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah. So like that's the one working as the one that is beyond any stereotype, beyond any work ethic related differences, or beyond any sort of personal, selfish goals. It's all that one common good, and it's not for themselves, it's for everyone together at the same time. And that's what one really is. One doesn't mean sacrifice ourselves to give it all to others. One should be where we are hand in hand, we enjoy the good success together.
Generally, we see temple when we are asking help. Generally, why they helping. But for example, like any workplace, usually workplace do sometimes asking. No, it's not my job. But usually Japanese company is good when they ask me or someone on the way home, can you deliver this one? So, and then if I refuse, then I say, okay, I don't mind, I just talk to that. It's not on the way home, but just from locally to Sunnybank back home. It's not even that. And because they already gone, so it's a teamwork, so I can help.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, it's all about teamwork.
It's good to have teamwork.
Yeah, teamwork.
I have an electrician.
Yes.
You know him.
Yes.
I just rang him. Scott, can you be here about 10? Yes. Job done.
At least that can you help? But at least for some people, I understand. Also, I'm sorry, I couldn't help. It doesn't mean that we have to open mind. Some people can't help, but some can help, but I don't want to help. It mean we have to open and just personal. We can help to be good.
That's right, and I think this one aspect actually opens up a lot more doorways or pathways for us. So say Jack, he was sharing about that exact cleaning and painting day, because he actually bought all the rollers in order to do it manually.
And some person helping with the machine, they're very good.
Yeah, just the last minute.
Yeah.
They turn up on the last minute. I think you must have seen the 3 or 4 gentlemen with that machine.
Who brought them or what?
It's Jack's contacts. Yeah. So it all happened very, very randomly, according to him.
1 or 2 machines?
So quick.
Yeah, one like a professional spray.
So
the sprayer turned up. Then they realised that the black grates were in the way, so they ripped all the black grates out.
I saw the photos, yes.
Yeah.
We'll post some of the photos up there.
Put the black grates back.
Yes.
But you see, in this case, Judy, what I think that the temple need to paint before July. Can we make it?
Not those little plastic things.
Oh, it must have used some
I
screws.
think we look at the
And
time.
then the
These
paint,
tablets.
the wall is
But
good.
this wall I was
Yeah,
looking at
That's
today.
what they.
Oh, yeah, I thought they
Yeah.
were just bought new screws.
You see, like Mutang,
Good idea.
Mutang
We had
is very
three drills
Yeah.
and
clean
someone
and
used it.
I don't know.
Yeah. So it's a good start. Like, so I just wanted to commemorate or congratulate everyone who do our part for the
Oh,
temple.
thanks, but no thanks needed. Use it, Daniel.
Yeah, don't need
You're
to.
doing
You
it,
mean
yeah.
you're helping them
Yeah,
to
yeah.
If
everybody.
you didn't want to
Everyone
do it, you wouldn't come.
Yeah, we don't need thanks.
Or just at least from a personal.
Appreciate.
But thank you for
we,
your thanks.
We appreciate.
Thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate your help.
Because that's exactly the beauty of the one. Yeah, like if we can bring that to wherever we go, I'm
That's
sure.
why the work is different.
In theory, it's different, but it's still you. You're the
Want
one.
money.
You're the one. Yeah, you're the one at your work who makes everything work. Yeah, I think like not to put yourself in an arrogant situation. It's just in an optimistic perspective that you are the missing link. With you bringing your positiveness or positivity and the right thinking, you can actually change what's not working into a very good, smooth sailing, entity. So I think if we see something not right at the temple that's not in line with one, then it becomes our obligation to raise our voice. Not necessarily need to step in as such, but it's our obligation to do what we can to try to bring things back into the line of one. So if you see someone in the temple not doing right, myself included, feel free to raise it with me to let me know. Otherwise, sometimes we may go on a blinded tour if we don't have the good peers like all of us here, getting
I
everyone.
haven't seen anyone doing anything wrong.
Well, haven't you been meaning to talk to Kenny about his tardiness lately?
Tidiness or tardiness? What's tardiness?
You'll have to Google it.
Okay, I'll Google. Okay, sorry.
Joking, kid.
No. It's something I always have to have the open ears to keep up
I
with.
guess
I'm
that
not sure what that means. Have to Google it.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Because I'm sure like you've been
Google
with the
these
temple
things.
for
Quite often you
2
don't
decades, so we can see we can see all the different people come and go and all the different like ups and downs of the temple, and obviously people have their stages in life, but I think if we look at this as one thing, we should be pretty good with doing different roles that we can contribute to in the temple or even in our society as we can. Like
So, could you translate Quan Dao?
Okay. So as we know, the Tao is one connectivity. Quan. So I-Kuan Tao. So this is Tao. This is one, and this actually just means connected, or continuous, or one succession. So the Confucius said this Tao is inherent in everything, and it is all interconnected. So that's literally what Kuan is trying to describe. So
How old is the Chinese writing? Is that Chinese or Mandarin?
Chinese writing, this is the characters. They say this type of like standardized character is only 2,000 years old, because from the warring states, there are also smaller countries having different characters, but the similar writing, like think of it as fonts. They have different fonts. If you can think of it that way. But then at the end of the warring state period, there's one emperor who eliminated all the smaller countries.
Is that the movie Hero was based on.
That's the yes. So he removed all these smaller countries in a very, very brutal and barbaric way. So that's why there are people who really wanted him removed as well.
Picturesque.
Yeah. I think looking back in history, without the blood, it is quite a romance, like quite a, I guess, a poetic sort of.
Just wondering who designed.
Question. There's two kinds of Chinese, basically, Mandarin and Cantonese.
Oh,
Do
what
they-
are that?
Yeah. But simplistically,
Yeah.
do they both share the same characters?
Yes. Yeah, traditional characters, right?
100% the same.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, just different talking then.
Yeah, just an accent, more so an accent. Yeah.
Then you got Taiwanese and Japanese.
Well, Japanese is a different thing. Korean's a different thing. But like all these have roots in the traditional character set. So their pronunciation may be very, very different. But think of them like accents. But the words would still come from the same words. Yeah, the same. So
And Mongolian is a totally separate language.
Mongolian, separate.
Do they share writings anymore?
Not anymore. Not Manchuria and Mongolia is separate. They're more closer to like the Central Asian language system, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but obviously, if you look way back in time, there are probably some similarities in like Sanskrit, like the Vedic Indian subcontinent language and culture that influences the Northern Asians, and then there's Chinese. It's just a merge from
So you've got the hero emperor. His name was
he is called Qin.
Qin.
Qin. Qin. Yeah.
What year was he around roughly?
It's probably 400 BC.
BC.
I think. Don't quote me directly.
No, fair enough.
Sorry.
And Kublai Khan came along when?
Kublai Khan is more like 700. Oh, no, sorry. About 1200 AD. 1200 AD. Yeah. So like Kublai Khan, Genghis Khan. Yeah. All the.
Genghis and Kublai.
Yeah. 1200 onwards. Yeah. So quite a big jump in the historical. Because maybe not that far back. Maybe Qin, like the Emperor Qin, he's called the first emperor. So he is probably almost 3,000 years ago. Oh no, sorry, mind blank. I used to remember all these things.
It's okay, you're getting on.
Yeah, but I know the around the 400 BC period, I would suppose. But I can post the timeline on that.
Yeah, well, look at all those characters he's got stuck in his brain.
No. I
Mine.
only know the more recent dynasties. Yeah, but we say if we look at the form, remember when we received the Tao, we have our names written on the form, and Master Chen would recite some of the words on the form, or all of the words actually, but some of the words contains the meaning that the Tao lineage was already.
Someone's asked a question.
Oh, okay. What's the question?
Talking about being one, I can't stop thinking of a shooting attack. If we can see each other as one, this kind of thing will happen again and again.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. It's Chinese writing.
Do you want to use my phone and have a look?
It is okay. I'll just have a quick look. Yeah, I'll just. Have
Sounds
a quick look
like she.
Oh, that's
loses
Nicole.
voice.
That's Nicole. Yeah.
Hi, Nicole.
Hello, Nicole. Oh, 770 BC. Thank you, Nicole. Yes, fact finding. The emperor, Qin, the first so-called emperor, 770 BC, and he wiped out all the smaller countries so that he can make the whole thing his way. So he standardized. There's good and bad, obviously. Like he standardized all the weights and measurements and all the words. So, but the sad thing is so many bloodshed. But anyway, the shooting obviously is because we don't see everyone as brothers and sisters. Even to a point that we should not only look at each other as brothers and sisters, but more like our limbs and like our organs. Because what we happen is, if you have a ailment or like a damaged body part, obviously you don't want to amputate it first. You want to cure it or let it recover first. I think that's the better analogy, because if brothers and sisters, you still feel a bit detached to them in a way. Yeah, there must be a better explanation that we should look at each other like as our limbs or body parts that we can't easily detach of. And I think then we will be able to try to get all the people on the same one. Yeah, but we're trying to refer to the form that we have our names written on when we received the Tao. So they was rephrasing
all these wars may be, and plagues may actually be Mother Nature keeping us at bay. Imagine
Dennis, I think if we remember the third class, this is the third class, but yeah, I think the first class we talked about the disasters or the calamities is human attract the disasters and calamities, not Mother Nature dropping these disasters on us, because remember we also talked about the harmonic frequency and all our thinking is actually generating an energy. So all the population, all these collective, you can call collective karma, I guess, this collective thinking is generating a collective outcome. And nature merely just have to respond, because that's what nature does. This the natural phenomenon.
So we all for good.
Yes.
What would happen if we expanded? I suppose we move on to other places.
We can follow what Mila Buddha is trying to do. Like it is so hard to bring the population out of Earth to go to somewhere else, but it is a lot easier to turn Earth into a very hospitable paradise. So that's what Mila Buddha's great vow is, and it's not done before. So that's why, but he has got the vision to see it will be achieved. It's just whether we can be fortunate enough to be part of it. That's all. Like the Buddhas always foretell what they are doing, and they will also be very accurate to fulfill them. So the Buddhas never lie. So they say they're doing something, they'll definitely finish doing it. It's just whether we ourselves can be fortunate enough to be part of it. That's all. Yeah, the Buddhas will do it without us already, but we're just fortunate to chip in the time.
Joy.
Yeah. So hopefully we can, like, if we know some other, I guess, friends or like people we know who follow their religion, their faith, yes, but make sure as well they are also following the right teachings, or like the oneness teaching, like the.
Or do you read what Nicole said about?
Yeah, if there's a lot of killing, it's just a very sad thing. And what takes killing to stop is, I mean, we always say it in the temple classes, what takes killing to stop is killing on a day-to-day thing, like all the abattoirs killing, all the marine lives are getting wiped out. All these killing, like, you don't see the blood, but they are happening. Happening, yes. The blood is also shed that way. So it's just very, very unfortunate that it is hard to stop it all in one go. So and as we talked about in 2 weeks ago in our class about a white period, why is it white period? Because light is white light, white. Radiation is white. And if you have looked at some of the documentaries at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, there are shadows of the people who vaporizes, and on the walls behind them is their image, because they blocked out some of the radiation with their body as part of their vaporizing. So that's the white yang period, the white period. It's very, 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 I guess, speechless to describe the catastrophe as well. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that they sort of got fused into the bricks.
Yeah. So some people, the Buddhists have also said, like, the Buddhists to pass the Tao to the good people, but the demons or the devils are also coming to do their part as well with the heavenly order to take away the not so good people. So, and that's why it's still this duopoly side. So until we can bring everything back to one, then we can stop these opposing forces. Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yes, that would be nice, but it might be takes.
Maybe not in our lifetime.
Oh, well, we can only look at what's around us right now. So if all the people we interact with already align with one, we've done our job right. So it's all about how far we can reach. I mean, we're not flying all around the world every day. So, but even if we are just staying in, say, Sunnybank in our whole entire life, if we only stay in Sunnybank, but all the people we interact with, we can still bring them happiness, bring them love and kindness.
Close to the one.
No, we are all together.
No, we still do.
We're all together. Yeah, we're all together. don't let Sifu, don't question Sifu's confirmation. We're all on the same page. Daniel-san, don't think that way, because, well, for example, if we are brothers and sisters, we just say, like, we're brothers and sisters. So if we go home, and one of us is home and the other brothers and sisters are not home, everyone at home is worried. Same thing. So we are actually, the cultivation is a collective thing. So as a temple or as an I-Kuan Tao group, we are only as best as our weakest link. So we are in it as a team. So that's why, like, we have to help each other, like, or help the weakest link. So we're only as good as our weakest link. I think that's the good way to put it. So we just try our best to always bring back the one.
Sunnybank is a good analogy because why you laugh?
Not this time. Used to be many years ago, but now I don't think so. It's just
Sunnybank. I've been here 20 years.
Yep.
Never ever had any trouble in Sunnybank.
It's
Never.
always been quite good.
There have been other places, always trouble.
example.
Example.
Yeah, example. You in another place you have what kind of troubles another place and something.
Oh, the violence and punching and kicking and shooting. Yeah. Stealings.
Oh, Sunnybank has.
Yes, Sunnybank has a
No,
shooting.
Sunnybank. You don't know. You know Sunnybank. A few years ago, one Asian lady had been robbed daylight. Walk along from Sunnybank Plaza. Walk to, I think to Robertson, something like that.
Yeah.
Some robber took her handbag, and in handbag quite large money, cash. Must be followed from the bank.
Yeah. But
The owner of Sunnybank lives just down the road, and he wanted to dig a tunnel from his house to Sunnybank.
Already?
Yeah, to his office. But the council said no. Yeah, that way he wouldn't get robbed.
Well, we just say, like, in, say, like, Brisbane, I guess, in general, Brisbane, like, we're better than, like, I guess Melbourne, but we don't have so much gang-related violence. Or in Sydney.
What kind of gangs are there in Melbourne?
Oh, I saw the news like
Yeah, they have.
Tony Mockbell. Are they any?
Tony Mockbell, him.
Is that
Italian.
Yeah.
I think it used to be Italian.
Mafia types.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mafia.
So I don't know about bikies here, but I think like
He
we are
gets
not.
out soon,
Oh, okay.
if he's not already out.
Oh,
Why?
No, I think Danny's dying.
Really?
Oh.
This might be, wasn't he nearly dead?
Oh, he's old.
No, he got attacked the other day.
I didn't know that.
He got bashed badly.
Maybe that's why, because they knew he was coming out.
I don't know.
Well, you need to see until the Market Square complete project finish. You see, let's see, no more people coming, a lot of traffic jam.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can only hope for like that more and more people can have more and more happier sort of state of mind without too much negative, depressed, or anger, or like any type of grudge. So, like, if we can keep radiating the smiles, like it's a natural thing. You smile to someone that walks the dog, most likely they will smile back.
Of course, you know, people walk in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, good morning.
And
Got two good smiles today.
Yeah.
And a smile, yeah.
That's right. And the most important thing as well, I want to add on, is that we should not take other people's reactions for granted. Where if they don't smile back to us,
That's
it should
alright.
turn us off into a bad mood. Like we've done our part, that's it. Like
Yeah,
that's
you
why
smile.
Wu Wei is such
They
a
might be
great.
having a bad morning or something.
Yeah, we just smile to them and do our part, and then we do Wu Wei on it. Well, we don't need to
Sometimes it
worry.
hard, you know, my ex talk about Sunnybank, I still remember. It used to be Westpac Bank, Sunnybank.
Yeah, now it's gone.
And there was, on the front Westpac, they have the sign said no entry. Every time, 2 times my experience, I'm finished from Westpac Bank, drive to that lane, and then another car come to me. Yes, I'm out, and he want to go in, and the sign is no entry. He very angry. He with someone in the car, and it's an Asian. Anyway, and he doesn't want. He doesn't. And very traffic at that time, and the car still keep coming behind him, and my car behind me also want to go out.
Yeah.
And he had to move back. And I said, you can see the sign. He thought I'm Chinese. He get out from the car, who speak Chinese, said, sorry, I can't.
Sometimes,
And the lady, he want me to move reverse back. I said, no, I have to go out. And he still come in. I said, no, I have to go out. And it's 2 times experience from this one. That I'm very sure that still happened to another driver. You know, they.
I've got the hazy recollection. I think I backed over that sign one day. I can sort of remember poking it back in the hole.
Wow.
Can't really remember.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And also when drive a car to parking, in the parking spot, at least minimum 2-3 car park. It across the line, and you can't park it. You can't.
Yeah, those people take up more space than they need it, I guess. I'll check if there's any writing on the. There are people everywhere, but quantity does change the quality. Oh, I see. Cool. Thank you, Nicole.
I think
That's very good.
this place
With
has
these people
improved a lot.
who signed in, you should read.
Oh no,
When
they.
they
Yeah.
But you know
Try
that
to
some
get another
be
screen
careful
next
when
time.
you're driving in Runcorn, you know Runcorn opposite McDonald's. There was a car 2 times that I see. They come from Warrigal Road School and come to past McDonald's.
Yep.
There was a sign to T junction that you're not allowed to turn right, but 2 cars right and want to turn right, and the green light come in. Oh, dangerous! 2 cars follow, turn, you make a U-turn.
Yeah.
Lucky the car, they see that they come approach, but they ping.
Yeah, I think when it comes to road rage or
Yeah.
things on the road, there's lots of people not following the rules.
Yeah, and then
The rules is one rule.
Yeah, they
There's
have
no
to follow
many
the
rules.
rule, isn't it?
Yeah. And
Yes.
like there's often.
But you have to be careful when in Visnjic. And people this day across the road, they don't care. You have to, and then driver sometimes in even maintain vivid speed. But the people cross usually nighttime we are very scared. Just walk. They don't see wait until clear and then they come. And then they can walk, they just walk slow.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's just what Nicole was saying before, like one or two people doing the wrong things, then everyone thinks the whole community that where they belongs to is the wrong
No,
type.
that's why
So,
I'm not judging, but I know that. But that's to me, it should be educated that you have to see it for safety to anyone, and the peak hours very busy.
yeah, so
And then they come to and then they say, no, I can't speak, and then so sorry, I have to go.
yeah, so I think we have to come back.
So I'm not just yelling and say, I'm sorry, but you can see the sign, and he's still yelling and he's.
Yeah, like there's many people I can definitely see, like there are lots of people who puts themselves as the only one. That's the issue. They are the only one.
Probably do that
Rather than because for example, I'm just like generalizing, like the in Chinese there's a saying, of course, like if you don't help yourself, no one else have an obligation to help you. That's what Chinese idiom goes by. But yes, that's what
that was worldwide anyway.
I think like that's the literal meaning of that is should be more towards the sense that if you don't even lift your game, don't expect other people to do the hard work for you. I think that's what it means. But so the literal terms have been a bit distorted to say, so that people use that phrase to say, if I don't think for myself, then like no one will think for me, so I better sort out the whole thing for me first. So that's when the selfish side comes in. So I'm not sure if I've described it properly, or let me rephrase. So the Chinese idiom goes by like, if you don't do the thing yourself, like don't expect others to do it for you. So in the
help yourself.
So
encourage yourself.
Yeah. So in the ancient description of this, I think it should be more along the lines of, if you are not willing to improve, don't expect other people to do the improvement for you. But unfortunately, on the literal interpretation in the modern day, people think of it as, if I don't get the benefits for myself, no one will get the benefit for me. So I need to keep reaping in, get more and more for me. So that's when it turned to more a selfish sort of approach. So
misunderstanding, isn't it?
So,
but it's true. But sometimes they talk about you need to help yourself. Don't expect otherwise. You help yourself first, and you can help another. Doesn't mean that, I can't help anyone. I have to help myself.
So that's why.
You have to. Don't rely anyone when something that you can do. Just try to help yourself. That don't ask other people. But when you really need help, doesn't mean people can't help you. But you need to try to encourage yourself to do yourself first.
To lift your game, and then people can help in. Otherwise, what happens?
And they try to follow the rule. They have the rule. You have to follow. Correct.
That's right. Like same thing with, I guess. I'm trying to put a lot of examples into one concept. So I think similar to, I guess, the welfare system. Like if the people are not willing to work, don't expect the government to provide everything for them in that regard. So obviously, yes, in the reality, there are so many people who work very, very hard but don't get the reward they deserve. That's the system's problem, yes. But just going back to
it's a mystery.
Going back to the thing is that we should be the one doing the improvements, trying to make it work, make it better, and then if we needed help, there's more people to help. Otherwise, if we don't put in 100% of the effort, then very hard to expect other people to finish the remainder percentage for us. That's I guess the general concept of one, because one most likely means 100% on our end first.
1%.
Not to say, oh, I'll chip in 50 and you chip in 50. So, like, have you heard of the saying, like, this is relationship time, you hear it more, when they say, when 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2? Like, say, for example,
Like,
yeah.
One because one.
Yeah. Like, say, if you have one person.
By the Nepalese thing.
Oh, I see. Yep. So there's lots of like those like relationship analogies. I'm just using that because it's easier to
your mom, your dad, you, one.
Yeah.
Help each other.
Yeah. So a lot of the times, it's actually two people. They actually merge to become one entity when they become one. Like some people said, it's 0.5 plus 0.5. I don't think this is going to work either, because you only put in half your effort. You're not putting in the one effort, full effort. Yeah. So I think this is a very positive way. I'm not saying it's like right or wrong. I'm just trying to think 1 + 1 becomes a bigger one, just becomes a bigger one. That should be how any relationship or any like company or anything should become, like a better state, but still the one sort of common denominator, or like a common focus. Yeah.
Companies start up.
Hmm.
Like directors start companies up. They look after their shareholders.
Yeah. So like shareholders, employees, they should all become together with the directors or the owners, so that it's still a better outcome of the same entity.
Same goal.
Yeah. So if it is like
everyone gets a little bit.
Yeah. Same thing. Like a husband and wife, it's one family. Like just a more powerful, empowering family, rather than you have to lose part of you, they have to lose part of them to make it fit into one. That's not the not the best outcome it could have been, I think. Like when you have to, I know, like how do I put it? Like I'm not trying to use like sound like a relationship guru or anything. It's just that it's just quite an easy to understand example, because some people said like if you're entering a relationship with someone, you have to accommodate them, or you have to change them, or you have to change yourself so that it fits. But I think it's just doing your best and helping them do their best, and the outcome would be better than trying to accommodate them and change yourself just to make it fit. Sorry, I think the words that I'm trying to use may not be as precise, but the concept that is in my head is just that you just have to keep improving at your part. Yeah, do your best and help the other one do their best, and then you will get the good outcome. Yeah, because if you're not doing your best, they're not doing their best, it's only half the effort on either side. It is very difficult to get the best outcome. But yeah, sorry, I know it sounded like...
I can see what you're saying, and I agree totally.
don't have to agree.
No, I don't have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're quite right.
Yeah. So hopefully we can try to spread the happiness, and then
let's hope we can have a relationship.
You can.
What are you doing later, Dan?
Going to bed.
Oh,
Eating some noodles and
see,
eggs.
that's great.
Sweet. That's good. Yeah, hopefully soon we'll get a good relationship. That's good. Yeah.
Chicks go. Mostly they just.
Yeah. Sorry, I just thought this is easier to relate to. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
it
think,
makes sense.
yeah, like the I-Kuan Tao one is actually very broad. It's in a lot of the things we can come to interact with. So, which is why I think it's a very good discussion. And yeah, so a lot of the people we meet, maybe it doesn't click at the start, but I think the more we become part of the benefit or like the betterment of them, the more we can become the betterment of them, or wait, how can I put it? The more that we can be the bettering factor for them, the more we can be closer and closer to one.
Yes, talking about sometimes that we try to like someone like we can help, encourage, but they try to refuse. Oh no, don't worry, I'm fine. You know, so not really. Don't want to any help. So what you think like you try to some Tao relative that I introduced and haven't been, but usually like they've been working probably almost 6-7 and never been to temple because they're so busy and working. Something like that. Very hard.
That's okay. Like they can't come to temple, but we can bring the Tao to them. We can try, or not trying to intrude their lives, but we are trying to make us available when they are available for us. And then we can.
Robert.
Oh, Robert is okay. But on Sunday, because usually Sunday, and on Sunday there was 2 Tao relatives. They always in Sunday market. But I haven't seen them when we busy. And the Sunday we didn't go to Coco, so I buy one lady. She's Vietnamese because we have British. And I tried to contact her, and her son-in-law said, "Oh, she's at home. Like she lives from Brisbane, take about 45 minutes. Some near Grattan, She's she's been retired now, and he told me that she has been chest between the throat half. It's not a cancer, but something like a tumor block. Surgery and operation. And I tried to call her. She didn't answer, and I told the message. I don't know. And he said, "Oh, she will go to church now." And I think at the beginning when she received out, I think they're over 12 years now. And always like Saturday, Sunday, she see Saturday in the market and Sunday also in the market.
You see Dorothy still?
I sent a message. I think I don't know. I have to, but sometimes call she not answer.
That's okay.
Our might be
That's okay. Yeah, we just for all our friends, we still care about them.
Yes,
we
still keep in touch, and one also the whole family, the children as well they grow up, and I try to see, and they work in like grow vegetable, and then say you have to take care, take it easy. You work very hard and wife also look like she's not really good, but I said please take care, So let's see how arrange the time again and then.
So that's good. Hopefully,
Bridget.
Maybe Bridget's watching. Hopefully.
Did she watching?
I'm not too sure. I'll check.
Some friend is
good. The concept be the best self and let others to be their best self too. Same thing. Very good. Okay. Yeah. So, what else do you think we can learn from one? What else can we use analogy to describe one? No, that's a good question. Yeah. I guess from a martial art perspective, the body and mind must be one. And until we learn about the one point, then we're still on the outside surface. Yeah, like the spirit. Yeah, the spiritual residence. It's like the power station. That's where all the powers are generated. Yeah, like if we have a very chaotic mind, we feel low in energy. It's because all the energy is all dispersed and not concentrated. But if we focus on our heavenly portal, straight away we can feel a very calm and very strong force. Yeah. So we can try that. Yeah. When we go to bed, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
try and remember that.
Yeah, I know that Alexander must be very tired today. Yeah, that's all good, that's all good. So, yeah.
It's been a long time, raking all day.
Good on you.
Pushing stuff, forklift, pallets.
Time to go to bed now, isn't it?
Don't worry, in Taiwan, you'll be having
Good
lots of good
journey.
fun to back up all the.
Give him a lift. Give him a lift. Take home, or you ride bike.
Nah, Jerry. Yeah,
He's on the way.
I ride my bike to work. 1 hour each way.
Motorbike. You better have motorbike, isn't it? Motorbike, I think it's a bit cheaper. How much motorbike?
Oh, I don't have license.
Oh, okay, that's
Not motorbike license.
That's all good, that's all
so
good.
be careful, like bicycle.
But see, if you have a scooter, you have to ride on the road then. Might slip, slide.
Dangerous place.
Bike, I can be on the footpath, a little bit on the road.
I have a motorcycle license.
Oh,
I'm too irresponsible.
you're the most responsible person we know. Yeah, so like, I think the motorbike is, I guess it's fun and very convenient, but often our traffic situation is not suitable for motorbike.
Dangerous, mate. You're always a heartbeat from getting swatted.
No one looks, you have to be always prepared.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah. Until they can design a system that is where everyone is like a bike-orientated biker, then it should be a lot easier.
Motorcycle is still better than Asian country. You know,
Torpedoes.
yeah, motorbike. Here is still set than like a China or Thailand.
Yeah.
Dangerous.
I guess it's the number of it was too high.
Yeah, at least they don't go very fast in Asia.
Relatively fast, I'm sure, the torpedoes.
Or in Russia.
It's fast enough.
Yeah,
Well, you know, here you're doing 100, 120.
Yeah. So,
That's for my. Know too many people with accidents.
Me on a bike is like Kimmy on a roundabout. And it's a whole Nissan.
No.
Yes.
No. Controlled sliding. No, don't get me wrong. No, it's not.
DK zone, kids everywhere.
Yeah. No. That's the past Kenny. The wrong Kenny is dead.
The wrong one.
Yes, the wrong one is dead.
Kenny Wong.
So maybe we'll ask if Nicole anything to add about the one. Let me just check for one last time, and then we'll wrap up very shortly. Hi, Bridget's on there too. Hello. Yes, and then Nicole will ride the bikes in Taiwan too. Hopefully we'll find a torpedo. We'll find a torpedo to ride. That will be cool.
Yeah.
That will be cool. Yeah. See what happens.
You want a torpedo?
Just for the fun of it. And
You know, Dai-Chin, she many years she drive a scooter,
okay.
small mini bike like in Taiwan,
Wow.
to temple.
Yes. Yeah, I think in Taiwan the motorbike is 125cc. That's the most common one. But it's good now. I think.
125 is a good size.
Yeah. For
Not too big,
transport,
not too
mobility. Yeah. But they now have electric ones, which is good. Then the pollution will gradually be better, I'm sure. Electric bikes.
It would be good.
Yeah, because the
My
small,
bike.
small engines often have very bad exhaust fumes. But anyway, we'll
Okay.
calling it soon. Anything we'd like to add more? Or? Yeah, okay. For the viewers, if you have questions, chat on the chat later, like the message group. If you have any questions, feel free to throw at us. And we'll try and make it better and better each time for our discussions with our viewers.
like money balance.
Oh,
Everyone coming out and coming back in.
like that.
And you can picture that happening. Someone going off track and
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah, so every now and then, like say in the human timeline, there will be Buddhas coming back, like Jesus, Muhammad, all these people come back, or Buddhists, enlightened ones come back. Try to reorganize a bit better, but obviously as soon as they go, the other people start not following the right thing. Like I guess it's still the one. If they can really know the one,
Strong people will stay firm.
yeah,
Strong-minded.
regardless, like all Muslims, all Christians, all Buddhists, anyone who practice their right teaching, it's only back to the one. And if everyone's on that one page, there shouldn't be any conflicts in regards to the different groups.
Everyone will respect each other.
Yeah, the sense of respect, the mutual acknowledgement, and the spatial harmony, these are critical, and unfortunately these things are not maintained or not kept to a good standard. So
I think things have got a lot better over the last 50 years. But people are such complex creatures.
yeah.
They're all nuts. Nuts out there.
Well, maybe we start off as a nut, but we can gradually have like good friends who steer us in the non-nutty way.
Yeah, come a long way.
Come along. Yeah, so all good. So thank you again so much. Yeah, thank you, Sifu.
Cool.
Thank you, David.
And,
Thank you, Auntie.
Thank you.
Thank
Ta
you.
Tien.
Everyone. Thank you. So we'll see you guys shortly, and we'll call it a good happy night. Thank you.